Hello friends, welcome to Shiksharthi. In this session, we shall be discussing quadratic inequalities. So let's start. Now as always, there is a prerequisite for the session, and the prerequisite here is you should know everything about quadratic expressions and equations before you do inequalities. Now in this session, the focus is on the quadratic expression, which is ax square plus bx plus c, and the inequality part here is being greater than 0. So we will talk about all possible cases, or maybe some possible cases wherein ax square plus bx plus c is positive, which is greater than 0. Okay. Now the case that we are going to talk about in this session would be when delta is greater than 0. So I have divided this into two parts, wherein in the first part we are going to talk about a being positive, and along with this delta is also positive. Now in the second case we are going to talk about a being negative but delta being positive. Now in the very first place we should understand, when we say a, what is a? A is the leading coefficient. And what is the role of the leading coefficient in a quadratic expression, equation, or an inequality, or maybe function as well, is that it decides whether this quadratic expression or function is going to have a point of minima or a point of maxima. In short, A decides the concavity of the graph. Now when I say concavity of the graph, let's try and understand that what do I mean by this. So for that I'll have to draw and plot this inequality on the graph. Okay, as I'm plotting this inequality, the only thing that we need to understand maybe here is that what affects the plotting. So naturally A decides the plotting of the graph, and so is delta. So we know that when delta is greater than 0, a quadratic expression or equation or a function has real roots. Now real root means real x-intercept or zeros. So we know that where do we get a 0? We get a 0 on the x-axis. So when we are plotting this, let us say this is the graph that I have plotted, and in this case the graph that I have plotted here is isn't root specific. Root specific here means here we have assumed that there are two roots. Incidentally, in this case both the roots are positive, which is why I said the polarity, we are making the graph in such a way that it is not polarity specific, it has just happened incidentally. Okay, so alpha and beta, or alpha or beta, are the roots, and we know that on the x-axis y is equal to 0 and on the y-axis x is equal to 0. So once we have plotted this, the only thing that we need to now understand here is that instead of greater than 0, if I would have written the expression as, or let us say equation as, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to a y, converted this into an equation, and then further if I could have written where a is greater than 0, delta is greater than 0, and y is greater than 0. This is what we need to understand. So now the graph that I have drawn is known as a parabola, which is opening upwards. Now when I say opening upwards, naturally it has a point of minima, and this is nothing but the point of minima. So opening upward means it is concave up. So a being greater than 0 means concave up. Analogously, if I were to draw the graph when a is less than 0, the only thing that I need to understand now is the graph will be concave down, because a is less than 0. the graph will intersect with the x-axis at two different points because delta is greater than 0, and at the same time y needs to be negative. So let me draw the graph first. Okay, so this is the graph that has been drawn, and as discussed earlier also, the graph just ensures that it intersects with the real x-axis at two different points, wherein those two different points are nothing but the real roots or the zeros. Okay, in this case, let me take different values so that it becomes easier for us to understand. So let us say if I take this root as a, okay, let's not even take it as a because small a we have already taken. Okay, let's take these values as d and e. So these are the two distinct points at which this graph intersects with the real x-axis. Okay, and we know that this x-axis is nothing but y is equal to 0. This entire portion which is below the graph, below the x-axis, will be y less than 0. Analogously, this entire portion which is above the x-axis will be the portion for y greater than 0. That means which part of the graph are we going to consider when we are talking about the concave up graph? So I am just drawing this with the help of a green line, maybe superimposing a green line on this, putting an arrow, and then we have to consider this part which is on the other side of the root, putting an arrow here as well. Why have we put an arrow? Because it is only talking about inequality, and we know putting an arrow means that the value next to it is excluded. So in a certain sense, this entire discussion gets converted into the fact okay, so this entire discussion gets converted into a times of x minus alpha into x minus beta is greater than 0. This is what it gets converted into. And then from here, since we know that in a quadratic expression we know that a is not equal to a 0, in that case let us just see the inequality part which we have underlined with the help of a green color. So can we say here the answer is x is less than alpha or x is greater than beta? This is the answer that we get. Similarly, when a is less than 0 and we know that a decides the concavity or it decides whether the graph of this quadratic function or expression attains a maxima or a minima. So whenever a is less than 0, the graph will always have a maximum point. And now here we are talking about this graph's only portion where y is greater than 0. We are not concerned with the portion where y is less than 0. So we were only concerned about this portion here, and same is the case here because we are discussing the quadratic inequality ax square plus bx plus c is greater than 0. Okay, let me again shade the graph or maybe draw a line which has to be considered. So it is from this side, this part of the graph, this entire part of the graph, from arrow to arrow. meaning thereby the quadratic expression that has been given to you now gets converted to a times of x minus d into x minus e being greater than 0 when a is negative. Okay, so in that case, all we need to understand here is that x will take all the values which would start from d and end on e, but they are not inclusive of d or e because there is only inequality which is highlighted in the question. Now, taking our learning to a next level, which is with the help of a question, if I were to put it as, so if the question would have been x square so you have the answer with you, because in this case what is that we are going to consider. So this is a classical case where we have to talk about. Now we would just quickly check, is a positive here? Yes, a is positive. Is delta greater than 0? Yes, because delta is b square, which is 9, minus 4ac, which is 8. Is delta greater than 0? Yes. Is y greater than 0? Yes. So you already have the answer if you could find out the roots, and once you find out the roots, you say this is nothing but x minus 2 into x minus 1 is greater than 0, and you know the answer now, and the answer is x is less than 1 union with x is greater than 2. So this is how you solve inequalities wherein there is a quadratic inequality which has been given to you, and that inequality has to be obeyed for either all the domain values, which is x, or some of the domain values. So the cases that we have discussed here are those cases wherein some domain values give you the entire range of the function being positive. I hope you understood this, and since you have understood this, you'll be able to take this learning to the next level.